Well, Keyshawn.
Yo.
What do you think about what Tyreek said? And can Tua return and save my Dolphins season?
Man, he's excited to see his quarterback healthy and back, no doubt about it. But he also is excited because he's going to get opportunities to really touch the football. He was messing around with some dudes off the streets over the last several weeks while Tua was hurt.
He was not.
But it is too late.
No.
It's too late, Joy. They 2-4. Mm-hmm. Okay, and they were not great when he got hurt. They were not a very good team. Their 2 wins are against the New England Patriots or Jacksonville Jaguars in Week 1, 20-17, and the New England Patriots in Week 5, 15-10. I mean, like, come on, seriously. At the end of the day, they were a good team, and we thought they were a good team. At the start of the season, we felt like, oh, okay, they gonna make some noise in the AFC because the Jets we're not sure about. But the Jets look better. We know New England could get pushed aside. So as you start to look at things and go on and on and on, they play Arizona next. Mm-hmm. Arizona won last week, and they kind of like a roller coaster up and down. You don't know what you're going to get from them week to week. Then they go to Buffalo. It's just they got too many losses already. Mm-hmm. And then when you look at the AFC conference as a whole, it's pretty stacked.
It's stacked.
Yeah, it's pretty stacked because
at the top it is.
No, but you got to think, Paul. Everybody's going to be a division winner going to get in.
Right.
Okay. So now you got to start thinking about those teams that's not going to be division winners.
Denver.
Okay.
Indiana.
Okay.
Chargers.
Okay.
Cincy.
Okay.
They all in the same boat.
Yeah, but it's only one that's going to win, Baltimore or Pittsburgh. So one of them going to get in with a win. One of them going to get in without winning the division.
Right.
Then you got to honestly think that, okay, is the Chargers going to come back? Are the 4-3 Denver Broncos going to hang on and squeeze they win? It's only 2 spots at the end of the game. It's 2 spots.
Yeah, those are the teams they challenging though. So
yeah, but they got
like
2 and 4.
Right. But this is the point, Key. I mean, you make a great point, but they got the second easiest schedule remaining.
But do they?
They do.
Their next 4 games outside of Buffalo would be favorable.
Are winnable games. At least he gives them a puncher's chance. You know, I'm not counting them all the way out. You know, when you got the cheetah out there who's capable of having big numbers and big games, and they have an explosive offense when Tua's out there. So I'm not counting them out, especially with the schedule they have coming out, like you said, outside of Buffalo. You look at their schedule, and I give them a shot. Because think about this. Look, you got coming up, you got Cardinals, Buffalo.
Cold. November 3rd, cold in Buffalo.
Cold in Buffalo. Whatever, they can deal with that. But like I said, the schedule is favorable. They can come out with the Rams. You got Rams, Raiders, and Patriots. They should be able to win those games.
Cold in Green Bay, November 28th.
I think about time they get to the Patriots,
at night,
they can be a game over 500. So that gives them a puncher's chance. So I'm not counting them out.
No, I'm counting them out.
Yeah, it's tough for me. I mean, they're not going to win the division.
No, they're not going to win the division.
That ship has sailed. They're going to be fighting for a wild card spot, which means that they're going to have to go on a run at some point. Now, maybe this next couple games are the run that they'll go on to get and climb back in it, and then they're going to have to be consistent down the stretch. It's not like the season is over and they're out of it, but every single one of those games could go either way because, let's be serious, the Dolphins have not done anything to earn anyone's trust. Even this season, I mean, quiet as it's kept, because we're talking and focusing on the injury, before the injury in the Buffalo game, he had 1 passing touchdown to it and 3 interceptions with a 56.7 passer rating. The Dolphins were losing 31-10 when he got injured.
Yeah.
The Jacksonville game, a win is a win, but Jacksonville really gave that game to the Dolphins. It's not like they went and won that game convincingly. Counts nonetheless, but they've not done anything to show me that any of those games that are coming up are automatic dubs for the Dolphins. Not to mention Tua is coming back, so we're assuming there's going to be some rust and adjustment period to that. I don't expect him to step right out there and get right after it if he plays this weekend. And if he doesn't end up starting this weekend, do they win? Probably not. And then they're going to Buffalo off of another loss when he will come back, if he doesn't come back this weekend.
It's just something about when your star player goes down and then he comes back, something that can rejuvenate a team.
They're excited about it.
Yeah, they're obviously excited.
We
There's
hear
nothing else to be excited about.
What Tyreek Hill is saying. He's excited. That can just give you a burst of energy because it's deflating when you lose your best player. It's deflating. You know what I'm saying? You wake up and you go to practice and you're like, damn, it's going to be another tough week. But when your star come back, you can't wait to go. You energetic. And so I can see this as the calling card. You know, sometimes you got to hang your hat on something. You need something to rally around. And getting your star player back can really rejuvenate them. So I think they have a shot.
Yeah, I mean, Tyreek, Waddle, they're excited.
Yeah,
because
they're excited.
They've had no one throwing to them and have not been putting up any numbers. They've been non-existent on the offensive side of the ball. Again, they also have some injuries as well. So it's not like this is the whole team that we were coming into the season with to begin with also. So I want to be optimistic, but I got to see what Tua looks like.
Joe. I thought, come on, this
Yeah, it is my squad. And I remember what it looked like before Tua got injured. We never even talked about how bad that Bills loss was because it was a more important story to talk about Tua's health.
Yes.
Well, Tua's back now. So we're talking about, can he turn the season around? Yeah. The season never got started. They barely beat Jacksonville, which we wouldn't care about because everybody has games like that where, okay, you squeak that one out, fine, but you're not going to hang your hat on that. Yeah. And then you were getting smoked by the Bills before he got injured.
Smoked.
31-10 is
the Bills are pretty good. So, I mean,
but the expectations for the Dolphins this year is not just to make the playoffs. They've done that multiple times. The expectations for the Dolphins this year are to make the playoffs and win at least one playoff game.
Well, this is the thing. I'm just not optimistic or I'm not confident in any of these other teams in the AFC.
In the wild card race.
In the wild card race. I mean, we talk about Denver with a rookie. Denver with a rookie quarterback. I mean, are we serious? Are we confident? I mean, Baltimore is in.
I'm saying either Steelers or Baltimore.
Yeah,
you only got a couple spots.
Yeah, Steelers and Baltimore are in. So that's the only two teams out of those four divisions that I say, all right, those two are guaranteed. Now, the rest is going to be the division winners, Buffalo, and the rest is going to rely on, okay, can Denver take second? Can Indy? Can Cincy? Can Chargers? Are y'all confident that they're just that much better than Miami?
I don't trust most of those other teams as well. But the Dolphins just have such little room for error. I can't talk about the Jets the way that I do and not talk about the Dolphins that way. They have better leadership and better coaching for sure. But when we're talking about where they are right now, like they have to go on a run and they have to be consistent and they've got to improve as the season goes on. They have very little room for error because of the hole that they're in. Speaking of that team that was beating them very badly before Tua went down. The AFC East leading Bills. Josh Allen has started the season very efficiently, throwing for 12 touchdowns and no interceptions. Being this safe with the ball comes as a bit of a surprise for a quarterback that leads the league in total turnovers since 2018. Josh Allen is your guy. Mr. Paul Pierce.
Yeah, the most overrated, the most overhyped, according to Keyshawn, has no interception. You said the most overhyped.
You said overrated, overhyped. I said
most overrated according to the players. Most
you didn't
overhyped.
say according to the player. You put my name in there.
Okay, after I said overhyped.
Semantics.
I put your name over after I said overhyped, though. I made sure I'm not going to misquote you.
Yes. Do you think that he will revert back to being a turnover machine?
No. I think, when you're a great player, you always go into the offseason figuring out, how can I get better? What do I need to improve on? And the clear thing about Josh is saying, hey, I need to lower my interceptions. I need to be better at that. As great as a player he is, I can't be out here throwing all the interceptions that I throw. So I think he made a conscious effort coming into this season to say, hey, I'm going to limit my turnovers. Now, will he sustain no interceptions for the rest of the year? That's almost impossible. I mean, it happens. But I love the way he's being responsible, especially since no Diggs and he has nobody that's really trustworthy out there. No turnovers, that's amazing. So I guarantee you this, he won't lead the league in interceptions this year. I'll bet you that. And so I expect him, though, to take more chances, though, now that he got Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I think he's going to push it a little bit more. Look, I don't think he's going to go through the entire season without an interception or a turnover, but this is astonishing based off of how the rate that he usually turns the ball over.
Yes.
I said this before the beginning of the season. If he was going to stay in the MVP race and have a real opportunity to win the MVP and for them to really be contenders this year because they didn't have Stephon Diggs, he was going to have to be a better version of Josh Allen, and this was going to be part of it. winning the turnover battle is the conversation that often ends most teams' victories. Like it's hard to overcome not winning the turnover battle. When you're giving the other team extra possessions, especially good teams are going to take advantage of that. And he has put them in positions to lose because of that in the past. Right. He's corrected it so far this year. I'm with you. I don't think he's going to lead the league in it at this point. And we would make excuses for him playing this way because he's such a spectacular player, because he's so fun to watch, because he's so electric. Paul would make excuses? Yeah.
I mean, he's in the big four.
He is absolutely one of the most elite players in the game, and particularly at the quarterback position. But this was an area of issue for him.
He addressed his weaknesses.
And I think he's done a great job with it this year.
Did he address them, or did the lack of weaponry address them? That's what we don't know.
The lack of weaponry, so that means, like, if you don't, you prone to make more mistakes because you have less people you trust.
Well, I think when you talk about can he or will he revert back to a turnover machine, I think he could be a guy who, at times, could pull the trigger at the wrong time. Mm-hmm. Because that's just, he takes chances. And when you have playmakers, you do those things. Look, at some point, he's going to throw a couple interceptions.
Sure.
It's just the nature. He's not going to be zeroed the rest of the year. But when you look at the attempts, he's 17th in attempts in the National Football League this season. After his rookie year, think about this, it's the fewest attempts through 7 games in his career. This is the fewest attempts. Wasn't trying to force the football to those dudes. He wasn't trying to do those things because he didn't trust that he had those necessary weapons.
Right.
He may have talked big after the Jacksonville game, real big, and then he realized, this ain't working out so well. They went out and got Amari Cooper. Now you got Amari Cooper, a nice shiny toy that you are going to try to get the football to. And there's going to be a few tip balls and there's going to be a few things here and there. I think he'll still be able to manage enough to where they win the games to get them where they need to go and be a real competitive team come playoff time because they got Amari Cooper. But I think they can still win and challenge whoever it is coming out of the AFC, whether it's a Kansas City, a Baltimore, a Pittsburgh, or whoever, if they continue to use Amari and they continue to grow together.
Do you think that his turnovers will increase now that Amari is here? You think he's going to feel the need to force it to him?
Yeah, he's going to certainly feel the need to force it to him.
Force it to him or feel the need to get him
Yeah, he's going to certainly feel get more opportunities. More
I feel like
I don't want to say force, more opportunities. But what happens at Josh Allen at times is he gets in the area of not being patient. You got to be patient in these situations because they're going to try to take things away. When they took Stephon Diggs away, he had to understand that I can't force the football to Stephon Diggs. I got Dalton Knox, I got Kincaid, I got people that I need to utilize. I got Davis. Now you got a new toy in Amari Cooper. They're not just going to let Amari Cooper run up and down the field and catch footballs. But he's got to be mindful to know I can't force the football to him. I've got to go to my second and third reads and get these guys involved. So now the coverage will go off of Amari Cooper. And if he can do that, then the Bills got something.
Yeah, I think he's definitely forced the ball in the past, but I think he's also has a tendency to play a little bit erratic and outside of himself. And coming into this year,
trying to do too much.
Trying to do too much. I think they probably had that conversation. Like, we need you to be great, not Superman. And there is a bit of a difference.
The quarterbacks want to be Superman. They don't want to be great.
Sure.
They all want to be.
But making the right decisions and being patient and being precise and, not going off the script when it's unnecessary is a part of greatness, because you do have a game plan. You do have plays that are called for specific reasons and specific players, and they're more effective than you just running up the field and using your brute strength, which is amazing, but is sometimes not the right choice and has led them to being.
Do you think he can be patient?
I think he's been patient this year. I think he's had to be patient this year.
I was about to say he had to be patient.
He had to be patient. So why? I don't feel like there's a need for him to go off of what he's been doing.
But see, what happens in these situations is just not him. Joe Brady can go off of not being patient. That's the coordinators force the quarterbacks to doing things because they start calling plays differently because they like Amari Cooper and they see his ability, and they start saying, well, we can make this work. We can go double post here. We can, instead of running the ball, let's try this. And that happens, and then it puts the pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
So it needs to be like a combination of both that needs to be patient in these situations. You know who's extremely patient when it don't go well? Patrick Mahomes. Even though he has 10 interceptions. But he's extremely patient and takes his time when he needs to. That's why he's been so successful for so long.
Well, you know, I mean, they have a lot of similarities. I mean, you know how they make plays out the pocket. And I think that's where he is at his best, but that's sometimes where he gets in trouble. Look, I mean, listen, this is the longest he's went, 7 games. This is the longest streak he's had without an interception. Give the guy credit. He's working on his weakness.
Oh, I ain't taking anything away from him.
Give the guy credit. And he's not overhyped. And he's not overrated.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. He's not overhyped.
You keep looking at me. I didn't vote him overrated.
No, I know. But, like, I don't get that his peers.
Because they play against him.
His peers.
They play against him. And I don't think that they meant to say, well, the question was overrated.
Right.
The question should have been overhyped. And when there's a question that says overrated and overhyped, those are two different things. Do I think he's overhyped? He's been overhyped. Whenever you go on the front covers of this and this or that and all that and Monday Night Football leads off with you, that's hype. That's all the yeast that comes with it, and then you don't deliver the MVP at the end of the year. Every single year at the start of the season, you're the odds favorite. Right. Every single year. Right. That's the hype part of it. His ability, he's not overrated with his ability. Right. I don't know when they put the survey out, why the question would be, is he overrated? Because he's not an overrated quarterback. He's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Yeah,
top 4.
Well,
we've been calling it the Big 4.
Whatever. 4 or 5.
The Big 4.
Depends on who you like.
There's the Big 4, and you got everybody else. You know who the Big 4 is? Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow, and Allen.
See,
that's the Big 4. Now then there's everybody else.
Who are you putting up there?
Who you got in the?
I mean, that's a nice, cute 4.
That's the Big 4.
Yeah, if Purdy didn't turn into a pumpkin the other day, he was in there.
He would have been at the velvet rope. You got the Big 4, they standing in the club. Everybody else is at the velvet rope.
Let's push the Purdy conversation to next
week. The Cowboys, them jokers.
If.
But I'm saying, though, George.
Okay, but we don't have to if. These are not if guys. These are we know guys.
We know these guys.
You really do? You really do.
That's the Big 4.
I know about 2 for sure. I know about 2 for sure.
All right. Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.